Hey, everybody, it's JL. Yes, it's one of those big, important items up top. This Sunday, February 20th, if you have Showtime, my episode of Billions will be on. I still have no idea if I stunk or not, but let's all hope I didn't. But 9 p.m. on Showtime, or available anytime on Sunday if you have the Showtime app. So that's it. Big announcement. I also have to reshoot my special. But before I get depressing, why don't we just get into this episode and see what happens?
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. I am your tech stuff guy, Jay Nog, and we are here, of course, with the president of Mar-a-Lago of America, Mr. Donald J. Trump. Mr. President, how are you today?
Great. Well, I'm great. I wish our country wasn't a total shithole, but I'm doing great. Inflation. Excuse me. You know what I said when I brought Ivanka to the plastic surgeon when she was 15? I said to him, we want inflation. We want big inflation right up there. That's the only kind of inflation we endorse, and we endorse it strongly. But Sleepy Joe, who probably couldn't even lift up Ivanka's breasts if you paid him $1 billion, they'd probably be too heavy for his old sleepy hands. I could lift them. I could lift them, like in Dirty Dance. It'd be very Dirty Dancing, but I could just lift her up and say, let's see what the doctor gave you. And, but you know what? It's a sad time in our country. So let's do some strong podcasting to pick up people's Christian-only spirits.
Yeah, these gas prices are crazy. I'm sure. I know you usually get driven around probably in your limousine, but I'm a regular guy. I drive, and these gas prices are crazy. I'm just searching around different gas stations to save 10 cents here, 15 cents here. It's wild.
Please don't ever share any disgusting poor stories on this podcast again. That's not the brand. It's not called Woe is Tech Stuff. It's called Making Podcasts Great. We're not trying to make people poor again. Okay. So please don't share that. Don't ever say that again, or I'll be in trouble. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. I will never share my financials again on this podcast.
Thank you.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I flip, I obviously it's a little too woke and weak for me. So I caught probably 3 hours of it, just flipping channels.
Now, as you know, your boy Joe Burrow lost, did not play the best game of his career.
No. Excuse me. I never strongly endorsed Joe Burrow. I said some nice things. We're going to be nice, but he had never received a strong Trump endorsement, which of course is the official endorsement.
Okay. Well, he lost, did not play very well, had one or two nice throws, but overall did not play a good game. Matthew Stafford, spending his whole career in Detroit, gets traded to the Rams and wins a Super Bowl. What do you think of Matthew Stafford's wife? Did you see her in the stands?
She's like a nice looking blonde. I prefer, obviously, she's not, she's not stacked in the sort of official Trump way.
Okay. She's cute,
so I
though.
hope cute. Okay. I've had cute. I have melatonin and Ivanka around me. You're going to have to be at least as hot as one of them to even really get my attention. No, they're college sweethearts, and he looks sort of like an athletic Elon Musk. So he's no looker, but we respect them. He's obviously, he comes from he played at Georgia, which, as I've said, is a Trump state, even though there was total election fraud. And so they're nice. They're nice. They're not like a power couple, so it's like, and they're white. So we call them a white power couple. So we like that.
And he's a Super Bowl champion now. So that's extreme power right there.
But did you see who really won it for them? Donald. Did you see that? They have a black who I think took his name in honor of me. He said, "Sir, would you mind if I call myself Donald?" And I said, you know what? We're both big, strong guys. It would be an honor. And as long as you're underneath your jersey, you wear a Blacks for Trump shirt. So people don't know this, but Donald, Big Donald, we call him. I'm Big T, and he's Big Donald. And he was wearing a Blacks for Trump shirt underneath his jersey. And don't tell me that didn't have an effect on getting a strong win.
Well, Donald is his last name. His first name is Aaron. It's Aaron Donald. It's not like you where your first name Donald, but you do share the names. Yes.
Oh, no, what, well, I would, excuse me, I would never let a black have the last name Trump. You know that. So I think it was the best he could do. And I took it as a great honor that he said, I want to call myself Donald. And I said, well, go out there and be nice, but not too nice. You know, we don't want Joe Burrow getting hurt, but if you drag him down a little bit, then that's okay.
I think he had 2 sacks and
You should have. I mean,
game.
when they said Donald sack, you should have seen Mike Pence come running in. He said, "Sir, where's your sack?" And I said, "Mike, it's just a football play. I am fully clothed." And we lost another TV. Evangelical erection right through the plasma. At the end, there was all sorts of stuff. I said, I think we got some of Mike's plasma on the plasma TV.
But yes, Aaron Donald did beast it up. The Rams defense, I think, broke the record for most sacks in a Super Bowl. So very impressive. What do you
should have seen Mike
Yes.
Pence when they said there's never been this many sacks ever. He was, oh boy, there'd never been that many broken TVs.
Now, I wanted to ask you, did you see the halftime show?
Like I said, I was really just flipping around channels. So I caught, I don't know, like 17 minutes of it.
I think it's 12 minutes long, the halftime show.
Like I said, well, there was commercials and analysis, Mike. And, you know, so I caught, like I said, I caught probably, you say 12 minutes. I caught maybe 11 and a half minutes if they're lucky.
What was your favorite part of the performance?
The conservative social commentary afterwards. Strong patriots declaring it a disgusting, offensive spectacle. You know, I thought there was some great ideas. You know, you could have a great halftime show next year if they actually wanted to appeal to real Americans. Kid Rock could be up there saying the N-word. You notice all the rap? Did you notice, by the way, they didn't say the N-word? All these black rappers. Did you see Ice Cube? Did you see Kanye? No, you didn't see any of my rappers. No, you saw Death Row Records should be called Politically Correct Records. We know that Jim Crow Records, my label, is the only one doing strong non-PC rap anymore. And you have even Dr. Dre, who's, by the way, not even a real doctor. He might as well call himself Fauci. He's out there with Snickers or whatever that white one is, named after the candy. And Snoopy. You got Snoopy. His cartoons were so bad. Yeah, you ever watch Snoopy? The most boring cartoons ever. So Snoopy's out there with Dr. Fauci and Snickers. And who comes? Mary Magdalene. And did we have somebody else?
50 Cent.
Who?
50 Cent.
Oh, well, yeah. No. Okay. Well, 50 Cent, I was disappointed to see him there because I thought we had sort of a little bit of a bond. But obviously, he needs the money or something. And he was looking a little chunky, not fit like me. He looked like he'd been enjoying maybe too many meals at McDonald's. And then, Kendrick.
Yes.
Anna Kendrick, right?
Kendrick Lamar.
Well, okay, him too. But it was a whole mess. The whole show was a mess.
You forgot Eminem. Eminem also.
I said Snickers.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you covered everyone.
Let's hope our people are on the ball more than tech stuff. You know, I thought
Dr. Dre's wife's name was a weird name, and I thought you were referring to her. That's why I thought you were referring to. Well,
you know what? I'm just calling him Mr. Dre from now on because I don't even think he's a real doctor. And he's such a violent black. He named his headphones Beats because that's what he does. He beats. And so I thought it was a disgrace. I would like to see a more patriotic, strong sort of halftime show. Ted Nugent, who, you know, powerfully sung about statutory. And he could maybe point up to heaven while singing as a tribute to Jeff Epstein. And Kid Rock, you know, could do much better rapping than these guys. And he could say the N-word. He's not afraid at all. Like these guys who got so rich, they are African Americans, and even they're scared to say it. How sad is that?
Do you know there was a bet for the Super Bowl? It was an over under, I think 3 times. Will they say the N word? And you can bet if they were going to say the N word, how many times or not say it. That was one of the bets.
Well, if one of the bets was how many times I said the N word, it would be way over. So bet the over when it comes to the N word. But and yet Eminem, or what you call him, Eminem, whatever, we call him Skittles. He was taking a knee. Did you see that?
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
These guys, they love to be tough. Oh, we're so tough. We're gangsters. They're not gangsters. I was a gangster, my friend Putin, my friend Kim Jong-un. When I get them on a Jim Crow Records album, you'll hear about real murder, okay, and real sexual assault. Not this sort of talking big in the streets. Oh, I once had a hoe. You know what Vlad Putin's track would be? I had 40 hoes murdered. Not much more gangster than that. Okay, so sorry,
Definitely
Death
not.
Row. You've gone PC. You think Kim Jong Un could maybe come out with some good, strong gangster rap? I had my uncle shot with a motherfucking tank, bitch. How about that? Well, I didn't do it in the Kim Jong Un voice out of respect, but I had my uncle shot with a tank. Now that's strong. That now what's Mr. Dre gonna say? Oh, I once punched a person in the face because he disrespect. Oh, really? Oh, wow, so tough, Mr. Dre. My friend Kim Jong Un shot his uncle with a tank. Okay, right in the face. Okay, well, and it was if he was rolling down the hood with his aircraft gun, he'd blow your whole family away. Okay, so I know real gangsters. They're not real gangsters, and they went PC. They didn't even use their strong language. So we would have Ted Nugent, we'd have Kid Rock. We might have, obviously, we'd have Kanye. We would have the talent, and we wouldn't have the politically correct nonsense. Death Row Records should now be called rehabilitation records, because they're not putting anybody on death row. They're saying, please, we want to get you a job and some welfare benefits and make your life better records. Okay, not tough at all.
Get your
Rodrigo
life better.
Rodrigo Duterte, my buddy in Philippines, you know what he did to drug dealers who thought they were gangsters?
What do you do?
Had them murdered on site. No due process, just bye-bye.
Wow. So you enjoyed the halftime show?
I thought it was a disgrace.
Now, I wanted to ask you about, used to be a good colleague of yours, but lately you haven't been enjoying him lately, is Mitch McConnell. It's Trump versus Mitch McConnell. His comments about January 6th. He goes against what you said.
That's a so-called leader that talks like that. He looks like a turtle. He sounds like a bullfrog, and is just a disgusting, weak person.
Well, he's doing something right. I think he's been in that seat for what, 15 years?
Can we go off the podcast record?
We're off.
Okay, well, Kentucky is a bunch of toothless bourbon drinking morons. Okay, these people are disgusting. I don't even know. When I've made rallies in Kentucky, I say, get me the fuck out of here so fast. These people, they're the absolute worst. They're complete trash. So it doesn't surprise me that they would have a trash, stupid bullfrog turtle senator. Okay, let's go back on the record.
Back on the record. So 15 years he's been in that seat.
Well, Mitch McConnell is very sneaky, and he probably lies and fools the very great, very smart, very productive people of Kentucky.
What do you think that he has gone on record saying that January 6th were not peaceful protesters, but riots and violence? Isn't he going against the whole party by doing that?
I don't know. He thinks he's some sort of, I told Mitch to get the hell out of, get rid of the filibuster. He's afraid of actually letting me accomplish things. He wants to stop. This is the one place where Sleepy Joe and I sort of have in common. Okay. And it's because Mitch McConnell just wants to have everything revolve around Mitch McConnell. He will stop Democrat policies, which we think is good, but then he also stops Republican policies because he's stupid. So he just wants everybody to focus on him. He's a turtle bitch, and he's just like, look at me, look at me.
So he just wants the attention, is what you're saying. He really doesn't agree with what he's saying.
I don't think he has any principles. Okay. I don't think he has. And, one time Ivanka had a very hot principal and I had sex with her, by the way. Thought I'd share that.
Okay. Is that how she got good grades in school and went to a good college?
No, she was very smart,
Okay.
very talented. Had nothing to do with that.
Understand.
Uh,
Now, I just want to ask you, let's say, I just want to give you a hypothetical that you win the election coming up and you do run for the election and win the election and have to work with Mitch McConnell again. How are you going to be able to work with this man who doesn't really see eye to eye with you at all? And he's supposed to be in the same party.
Marjorie Taylor Greene has already assured me that she said, sir, if you get reelected, I will rip McConnell's turtle shell off and eat him. And I believe her. I believe that disgusting wreck of a human being. I think she's going to eat Mitch McConnell alive, and I don't mean that in a figurative way. I mean, she's actually going to put a fork in his back and start eating his turtle flesh. She is a scary woman, and I'm so glad that she's on my side. So Mitch McConnell will probably be dead if I get reelected. Let's be honest. And I think Martin Lawrence Green, Mean Joe Green, we call her. I think she's going to do it. Peacefully, of course. And when I say that, I mean in a peaceful protest way.
Kind of way. I understand. Mr. President, I wanted to also mention to you that on Sunday, February 27th, we are having a live episode for our Perfect 10 Patreon Patriots at 8 p.m. Eastern. We are trying to lock up a special guest for that episode. You don't want to miss out. More Patreon Patriots rolling in every single day. It's patreon.com/MPGA. We have a bonus episode coming up. Do we reveal who is hosting the bonus episode this month, Mr. President?
Well, I'll reveal it. Do you mind if I do that tech stuff on my own podcast? Thank you. Well, between the listeners, I've actually arranged for a very secret getaway with me and Kim Gargoyle. And I'm going to be plowing her crazy ass from Thursday to Sunday of this week. So to distract the chinless bitch, as we call him, I said, Don Jr. I don't call him Donald because he doesn't deserve the full name. Don Jr. I'm very, I almost gagged. I said, I'm so proud of you. And you've done such a good job. You've done such a good job. How would you like to host your own bonus episode of my podcast? And he started crying like a bitch and just said, oh, thank you, Dad. Thank you so much, Dad. Oh, it's so cool. Like, just in his weird coked up way. And then I winked at Kim Gargoyle, who like tweaked her nipple behind his back at me. So Don Jr. will be hosting the bonus episode this week for all levels of Patreon. And I'm going to be destroying what's left of his engagement with Kim Gargoyle. And I don't even like her, this, but I'm just doing it because the power, cucking your own son is just such it's its own sexual reward. You just feel so you feel so great. You feel like such a strong father when you have repeated degrading sex with your son's fiance. It's very powerful. So I guess headliner, I'll be with Kim Gargoyle all weekend. Opening act, Don Jr. hosting his own bonus episode of Making Podcasts Great Again. Hey, Dad.
So we have Don Jr. this week hosting a bonus episode, plus February 27th, the live episode for the Perfect 10s, 8 p.m. Eastern. That is a Sunday for this month on the 27th. And a special guest we are waiting to lock down. I I'm not going to reveal anything. It's going to be a great one. So sign up for at patreon.com/MPGA. Mr. President, I wanted to ask you, there are certain rules when you are president, and you shouldn't be using other people's cell phones for presidential records purposes. And
Or have you ever been president? Excuse me, tech stuff. Have you ever been president? I don't even think you're president of the tech stuff company.
this is what I have read, that the president should only be using his presidential cell phone for presidential records.
Or her. Remember, we could have a woman president.
We could,
Ooh.
but not yet.
And
So
you love these stupid people who say or her, and soon they're going to be going or they. We could have a they, and it's like no, we can't. Good luck. We can't even get a she. We're not getting a they. But we respect if there are any rich conservative donors who are theys. I respect your truth.
now you have been known to use other people's cell phones to make calls from the Secret Service. I have read allegedly when the Stormy Daniels news came out that you had an affair with Stormy Daniels after Melania gave birth to Barron. You tried to call Melania on your cell phone. She didn't pick up, and you used a Secret Service man's cell phone to call Melania, and she picked up. Is this all true information?
I don't know any of the people you just mentioned.
You don't know Melania. You don't know your son. You don't know Stormy Daniels. Do you know the Secret Service?
I know Secret Service very well. No, excuse me. What I would do is that's old news. The fake story about me having powerful sex at a golf club with Stormy Daniels. No, what I would do is when I would be getting strong Russian prostitutes in, I would borrow my Secret Service guy's phone, and I think he got divorced because his wife thought he was having an affair with Russian prostitutes. No, and melatonin would be in her room and going, Bill. Then I go, I'm here doing strong presidenting business, but I'd be using the Secret Service guy saying, okay, meet me in the bathroom at the McDonald's on Pennsylvania Avenue, Svetlana. And then I would, give her some ranch dressing with her tossed salad, and we would be on our way.
Why would you break the rules of the whole presidential cell phone, knowing that you shouldn't be making calls on other people's cell phones, but you did it anyway?
Okay, sometimes a president, which you are not, has to make tough decisions and be secretive for the country. It's good for national security. And when I'm having conversations with Putin about elections, or Kim Jong-un, or threatening the Ukraine president, or just contacting beautiful, barely legal prostitutes, this is not something that the government or the people of the archives are very serious at the archives. They don't need this information. I decide what they need. Sometimes the laws are stupid and I'm doing strong presidenting and they're getting in the way. So I keep it to myself. And
Okay.
it's not like they're going to prosecute me. That's the best part. People are like, oh, how could he do this? They're not doing anything. And if Sleepy Joe weren't sleepy and stupid, I don't know whether they call him Stupid Joe or Sleepy Joe, but he would be doing the same thing, but he's too dumb.
Wanted to ask you about this. Your accounting firm has just cut ties with you. It says 10 years of financial statements can't be trusted. What are your thoughts on this, that your trusted accounting company has cut ties with you?
Okay, their name is like Mazers or something, and they're claiming to be my accountants. They did a little bit of business for me, just like a tiny amount of accounting. And I thought it would be nice. They came to me and they said, sir, can we handle your money, sir? And I said, well, your name is Matzah. And the people with the Matzah tend to be very good with math and finances. So I said, okay, Matzah, let's do this. And I put out a strong statement earlier today to this effect. I said, I don't trust these people. I mean, they're good negotiators, the matzah people, but you can't trust. They're obviously trying. They have an angle here. They're being deal makers, and I respect it, but I don't like it, and I don't trust them. And on top of that, they call themselves accountants. But if you've ever been on TikTok, okay, this China app, whenever a woman with very big breasts calls herself an accountant, okay, this is TikTok China code, by the way, that you might
Right.
not know. When they say an accountant, it means they have an OnlyFans. So this Mazars claims to be an accountant, which probably means they have an OnlyFans, which means they're sort of like very shady, possibly slutty people. And how are you going to trust them on my taxes? You can't. You can't trust anybody. So I think it's a total fake story. Matzah isn't even a very tasty cookie. It's probably one of the worst cookies I've ever had. And what's it called? Rugula? You ever have those?
Rugula.
Those are, no, that's good.
That's
That's
solid.
good.
Yeah.
That's okay. Well, I say it's a little better than salad. And matzah is like the worst. So I should, my mistake was, and I'm not admitting to a mistake, but the closest I came to a mistake here was trusting matzahs with my money for any amount of time. And it was a very short amount of time.
Now there's some breaking news. I just saw pop into my news feed. Remington, the gun company, has just settled with the Sandy Hook victims' families for $73 million. It's breaking news. Well, I know you haven't.
That's how it starts. That's how it starts. And you remember Sandy Hook. You remember Sandy Hook. Wonderful, wonderful lady. And she was, this is so, I never thought Sandy Hook would settle. She was so tough. When you're a prostitute with a hook for a hand, there's not a lot, people can't really intimidate you at that point. You're as tough as they come. So I'm disappointed in her for settling. And I'm also disappointed in Remington. They used to call him Remington Steele. He was like this very dashing sort of TV character. And I guess he wanted to play Brazilian soccer or something. So he just started calling himself Remington. No last name. I'm a Brazilian soccer star. So Remington used to be strong Second Amendment. And as you know, I never settle cases ever. I don't settle cases with anybody ever. Never settled a case in my life, except for, there might be reports of like 40 or 50 settlements, but those are all false. I never settle a case. And for this is how our Second Amendment gets destroyed. You know this. Our Second Amendment is sort of like when you go to the bathroom, a poop is not a number two. I mean, a poop is not a number one. It's a number two.
Yes.
But we all know it's more powerful than a number one. A number one is just, oops, there's your number one. A number two is strong. It can fuck up a toilet. It can fuck up a whole room if it's potent enough. So we all know that even though it's called a number two, it's the strongest of the numbers. And sometimes when I eat my McDonald's, they call it a number three. It's so powerful what I leave. But so our Second Amendment is sort of like the poop of the amendments. It may be number two, but everybody who knows anything about the Constitution knows that it's the top amendment. It's like, remember Letterman? He had his lists.
Right.
Number two
It's
was
top
always
10.
the funniest.
Yeah.
Top 10. Number two was always the funniest one. Number one was always sort of a letdown. And that's how I feel about poops. And that's how I feel about amendments. Number two is often the strongest and most important. And this is our Second Amendment getting destroyed. You know it, and I know it, and patriots know it. Because once Remington settles with Sandy Hook, and these are two tough people. Sandy Hook is a real tough prostitute, and Remington is Second Amendment. So it's a sad day for our country to have this happen. And I just hope that other gun people buy more guns and are more strong on Second Amendment.
Why don't you think Remington or Sandy Hook came to you and asked you for advice since you're so strong?
I think it's because I'm very clear. No settlement. Okay. Even with a tough lady like Sandy Hook, no settlement. and especially no sentiment when it comes to our Second Amendment, our precious, sacred Second Amendment. There's nothing more important in America than having a gun and being able to shoot people with it. There's just nothing. It is, I think, the most fundamental. They call it fundamental. I think it's the most fundamental, strong thing in our country. And for that to happen is a total disaster and disgrace.
Understood. Mr. President, the last piece of news, Kanye, friend of yours, his ex-wife, also a friend of yours,
Well,
is
a special friend, some might say.
yes, is officially together, boyfriend and girlfriend, with Pete Davidson of Saturday Night Live. I wanted to know what your thoughts on this relationship was, and also that Kanye is allegedly making rumors that Pete has AIDS or HIV. What do you think of that kind of warfare, spreading that rumor? Please, your thoughts on all of this.
Pete Davidson doesn't have the talent of Kanye. I think he's sort of like a charity case for women in Hollywood. You know, they used to donate to like, oh, we have starving kids in Africa, or oh, we got to save the rainforest, and now we got to protect the meth head. We got to save the meth head, and every mediocre actress or washed up actress is like, I'll suck his dick if that'll get me to heaven, or you know, if I can write it off on my taxes as charitable contributions. So, you know, he walks around, and from what I hear, he's a nice guy. Okay, I don't think he's obviously not the talent that Kanye is, but he seems like a nice guy, and obviously, you know, that's I think I would like to start a Trump charity. You know, where if I get a little older, they say, "Oh, come, let a senior citizen come in you. It's a tax write-off." And maybe all these actresses will come and sit on my lap and take some Cheeto dust, and you know, everybody will be happy. But I think I like Kanye's tactic of claiming that he has AIDS. I think that's strong messaging. And I've actually told a lot of my supporters that they, you know, because just like with COVID, natural immunity is sort of the best immunity. I've been telling some of my supporters, and I know Mike Pence has been saying this for a while, they should get HIV because, you know, we have drugs and things, but you get the natural immunity to HIV. If you catch it, you get the strong natural immunity, which we all know is better than the medicines and the vaccines and things. So I think Kanye may be doing Pete a favor, because obviously if some of my supporters start walking around going, oh, well, Pete Davidson, he can give me AIDS, he can give me HIV because I'll get that natural. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. You know, Kim is a very nice woman. She has great skills in, let's call it, criminal justice, reform, oral sex. But I don't think she's the brightest bulb in the toolbox. So I think that she might be trying to get AIDS from Pete Davidson for natural immunity.
That's the big plan. Now, if it's not true, right? You're notorious for roasting people against you during the election times, right? Crooked Hillary, Sleepy Joe, you give pretty nicknames. Now, would you stoop as low as saying someone had AIDS or HIV, or would you just stick to your nicknames?
I know I've already said if Ron DeSantis runs against me, I'm calling him low T cell Ron. Because I already used low energy on Jeb, so you have to remix it and go one step harsher. Because I think, as much as I think DeSantis is a disloyal sack of shit, I think he's more talented and more aggressive than low energy Jeb. So I'll call him low T cell Ron.
That'd be his nickname, and people would think he has AIDS.
Low T cell Ron.
I like that form of warfare.
He's got no cell phone because he's low on T cells.
There are still rumblings of DeSantis, little Trump DeSantis rivalry when it comes to the Republican Party. Still.
Oh, I'm very scared. I'm very scared of DeSantis. Oh no. Marjorie Taylor Greene has already informed me that she will bite his dick off on live television if he even thinks about running against me. And eat it. She will eat it, and not in a hot way. She'll do it in like a Joey Chestnut way. Break it in half, dip it in water, and throw it down her big ugly face.
On July 4th.
No, we would never disgrace the 4th of July that way.
Oh, man. Mr. President, thank you once again for joining us. I am looking forward to speaking with Don Jr. this week, and hopefully he can hold it together for a whole entire bonus episode. I'm looking forward to that. And we also have the bonus episode for our Perfect Tens on, again, February 27th, Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern. It's a live episode. And hopefully we're locking down a special guest this week will be joining us. And that's patreon.com/MPGA. If you haven't checked out my special yet, please check it out. Amazon, YouTube, Vimeo, any video on demand for your cable network, something from nothing. Check it out. Thank you to everyone. And Mr. President, the floor is yours.
Well, our country is going to shit because of Sleepy Joe, but you can do something strong for us. Hey, everybody, it's JL. Just a reminder, on whatever social media platform you're on, whether it be Twitter or Facebook, but especially Facebook, but follow both of us on Instagram. We don't have a show account anymore. I took that over, but follow both of us on Instagram. And if you're following us on Facebook, as I said before, we need people to sort of share some of the posts. I know you don't want to clog up your feed, but we both know that nobody's really sharing the posts. We need to get a little more engagement on Facebook. I know this is like a desperate, stupid ask, but if you like a clip or an episode, just like share it off the page, because our engagement, for whatever reason, even though we're going up in followers on Facebook, our engagement keeps going down, which is obviously what they want to do. They want us to like buy ads and stuff. But our podcast is thing where like the people who want to listen to it are basically listening. So we just want those people to see, our stuff more. So just this week, if you did it last week, thank you, but just share or retweet something. And if you're on the Facebook page, be sure to go and like a couple of posts, but I think that's it. We just want to sort of defeat the algorithms a little bit. I know, not a cool or fun way to end the podcast, but I have a show that I'm putting up on my website Thursday, the 24th in New York City. I'll be part of a show at St. Mark's Theater. Other than that, knee surgery in March. And then there'll be shows coming up later because I have to reshoot my special, which is, as you can imagine, just joyous news. So I guess that's it. And we appreciate you guys listening. Lots of bonus content coming your way for the second half of this month. And God help us all.